So the running back part of this roster is really interesting to me, Linnell. We saw Bills, can't call it a breakout. He's had one of those against the Chargers. He had a big game against the Giants. But I think we saw his ceiling, so to speak, on that 72-yard touchdown run. You see what we dream on a little bit around these parts. He only got 11 carries. They only ran 41 plays as an offense, by the way.
Which is crazy.
People sleep on that. It was a one-possession game. I know it wasn't most of the day. They were down 21-3. But Dallas outsnapped them 87-41 yesterday.
If that doesn't scream my defense was atrocious, I don't know what does.
Yeah, 480 to 328 in yardage. And time of possession was wild, bro. Yeah. 39 minutes essentially to 21 minutes, something like that. It's like an 18-minute discrepancy almost between the two. So the Cowboys, even though they only won 30-23, they never broke a sweat. I don't think they ever were really at risk. I don't think they ever felt like they weren't going to win the game to get to 7-8-1. But I bring this up to say, because they only had the 41 plays, because they only ran the ball like traditional runs 14 times, Bill got 11 carries. That's it. But he went for 105. It was like he was at Arizona or something. He averaged 9.5 a pop, scored 2 touchdowns, and hits the home run from 72. I'm thinking of like really long touchdown runs for Washington. What comes to mind? I've got Adrian Peterson for 90 against the Eagles. Yeah, that was one of those where like they stacked the line of scrimmage. He breaks through and no one's around him. And because it's like they're basically like almost in a goal line defense. I mean, everyone was right up on the line. Like, you're just going to win a race.
Brian Robinson last year?
That was a good one, but that was like 40 plus.
Yeah.
I think it was 40 yards or 43 yards against the Titans. There was a 60-yarder or something like that from McNichols this year.
Yeah, like it's the Raiders.
Raiders. And that was another one where like he runs into a wall. Everybody kind of stops thinking he's tackled, and he comes out like a surfer through a wave. Kind of a fluky run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But still, give him credit, like good football play. This is something we have just not seen. Chris Rodriguez can't do that yesterday. Jeremy McNichols cannot do that. There's no one else on the roster who can. So to me, Bill is, based on that ceiling, the guy going into the offseason. But here's the conversation I want to have. Is running back an area where they need to get better, or it'd be nice to? They have so many other significant needs in areas where they must get better, where they have actual needs. I think running back is a want. I have been making the case that if they run the exact same room back, I'm okay with that. It's not my preference. Like, I would like to do something a little different. I'd replace McNichols, who's going to be basically 30, with an Eckler type, either in the market or, you know, if you get extra picks. If they only have 5 draft picks, I don't think you can use one on a running back.
That would hurt.
I mean, you don't have picks, man.
Yeah.
For a third down back, like a rookie generally is not a pass pro guy anyway.
Right.
And that's the role you're talking about. So you probably want a veteran Eckler-esque third down and pass pro type back to be McNichols. And in that case, does he eat into the first and second down timeshare some? Maybe. But I've got some version of Bill and Rodriguez again. So I'm rolling with this group kind of, and I'm worried about a lot of other things. Do you think that's crazy?
I don't think it's crazy, but I think it's important to note why we're in this camp. We're not in this camp because Bill and C-Rod are world beaters. It's because of what you mentioned. You have a CVS receipt full of needs right now. And to me, especially if you're talking about spending draft capital on it, I'm telling you now, and we were having this conversation on Wednesday, me and Tobes were, about, you know, Caleb Downs versus Jeremiah Love if you're going non-rusher in the top 5 or the top 10, wherever they end up picking. And, like, the more and more I think about it, like, I'm a huge Jeremiah Love guy. I think he's a top 5 player in the entire class. But it would just be hard from a positional value standpoint to use any of these picks on a running back, especially when you consider, Grant, I don't know how many of these dudes are going to actually hit free agency because teams have the luxury of the franchise tag. But the 2026 free agent running back class is, like, loaded.
Yeah.
Breece Hall. Rico Dowdle, who's coming off a crazy year. Travis Etienne is a part of this
I'll
group.
run through the names right now. It's because it is sneaky awesome, actually. So this is based on the value AAV that these guys were on. So, like, basically how big the name is, how much they've been making.
Mm-hmm.
Najee Harris of the Chargers at 28, not interested. Austin Eckler coming off of this past 2-year run with Washington, obviously tore his Achilles, will be 31. We just saw him on Netflix pregame. He may or may not even play next year. Travis Etienne, who's about to be 27, is a stud with the Jaguars. He's going to get paid, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's RB1 kind of stuff if he leaves Jacksonville. So that's the opposite of what you and I are talking about.
Right.
You and I are talking about, do you want to rearrange the deck chair, so to speak, and like tweak something on third downs? Etienne would become your bell cow and costs a bunch of money. Javonte Williams has had a hell of a year in Dallas. I think they should keep him, by the way. But he's going to get paid. Rico Dowdle went ham for about 6 weeks in Carolina. He's come back down to earth pretty considerably and now in a timeshare with Chuba Hubbard. He's available. Nick Chubb, Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker is a star. J.K. Dobbins, hurt again, always hurt, but was running really well. Just to name some of these guys. You know who's sneaking going to make a lot of money? Who actually I would love to bring here. Like, this would be a priority sign for me.
Who's that?
Kenneth Gainwell from the Steelers.
Kenny G, yeah. He's interesting.
Gainwell, who played in Philly, has been a huge asset for the Steelers the last few weeks. You know, he's only 26. He's about to be 27. But he is 5 years into the league. He's only, this year made like 1.8 mil or whatever it was. But if you could get him as your third down short yardage, or like pass catcher type back, your Eckler, he basically is a wide receiver in space.
Yeah.
You saw him catch the long ball down the field, making the acrobatic catch on the touchdown this week. He's a fit to me. Like, I would love him. I'm not saying I'm not trying to do anything at running back, but I'm not spending big money.
Yeah.
I have way too many other needs.
And that's kind of the boat that I'm in. And I'm looking here on Spotrac, and they're giving you like the projected market value in terms of AAV. The cost is going to impact that as well in terms of who I actually want to give a strong look at. Like, one guy that I'm looking at here, and he's a little bit longer in the tooth, so I know people are probably going to be so out on this guy. Raheem Mostert, just whatever, he's speed guy, veteran, good for your room. But to your point,
he's going to be 34 next year.
So that would be
I'd like to kind of get out of that business as best you could.
My thing with running back, and it's what you said, I cannot. There's really no scenario for me in which using draft capital on a back is worth it in this offseason. In this world, with this iteration of the team, I would literally bite my wrist hard. I'd be very annoyed at it.
Yeah, it would be. I just think it is the ultimate want over need thing right now. And when somebody, like, they're going to hear this and go, you guys are crazy. You're overvaluing Bill. You're overvaluing Rodriguez. You're mishearing us.
Right.
Let me clarify. Bill is a nice little player. Rodriguez is a very solid thumper. He's Brian Robinson-ish, and I think he might have a little better traits than Brian Robinson even. But if anything, it's an undervaluing of the position.
Right. More than anything, yes.
If anything, it is a decision that I'm not going to spend there. It's like looking at a house that needs so much. And you guys are going, you like those counters in the kitchen? Are you kidding me? And I'm going, nah, bro. The counters are fine.
Right.
I'm never going to care about the counters. With or without the counters, I'm going to win the same number of games. Like the counters, I can put a box of pizza on them when I get home. I can lean over them to drink water at the end of the night while I'm on my phone. The counters are fine. I need to worry about the fact that I need to call Window Nation because I don't have any windows and birds are flying right into my house. I need to worry about the fact that the foundation is cracking and falling into the ground. Like, there are other things that matter more. That's all. And as I look at this list, it's actually a really good year because there's a lot of teams that don't pay a lot of running backs. So with all those dudes flooding the market, again, I think at Gainwell, a lot of teams are going to think like I do where they want that guy. But when there's 17, 18 RBs that matter hitting the market, I don't know. Rodriguez is a restricted free agent. It is like a Tyler Algier who runs his butt off, really physical from the Falcons. Just an undervalued guy. If you could get him in 2 years and a couple million who's like Chris Rodriguez rich,
right?
Is that interesting? Yeah, sure. I'd be down. I think you can upgrade. I'm not saying you can't. I see what Derrick Henry did for the Ravens. I see what Saquon Barkley did for the Eagles. I'm not anti-RB like so many people are. I would draft guys in the first round that are special. This team just doesn't have the picks to do it. They just don't have the luxury to do it. And you can't upgrade every position to start them. So can Bill and Rodriguez and a McNichols-esque third running back suffice? My answer to that is yes.
Especially with this offensive line, too. I think that's the other piece of it. And, like, it's kind of part of the conversation we were having on Wednesday. Like, the Raiders did it backwards. You don't draft Ashton Genty if you don't have good starters up front along your offensive line. Like Washington would be a really good plug-and-play fit for Jeremiah Love because of what they have up front, because of the scheme, so on and so forth. I mentioned this earlier in the show. While Adam Peters was billed as this great drafter and talent evaluator, I think he's hit some sneaky singles and doubles in terms of the free agent market with guys that are right at that 26 to 28-year-old age that haven't gotten a real opportunity for whatever reason. You look at Jacob Martin this year, you look at Olamide Zaccheaus last year, you look at Nick Allegretti, a former Super Bowl champion. I think there's a lot of those dudes at the running back spot, like Zamir White out in Vegas with the Raiders, a guy that was a beast at the University of Georgia and's got some long speed and is physical. He's never really been given the keys to an offense to be an RB1. Maybe he comes in here and can potentially give you the juice and the pop that you need at the running back spot.
That's a position I would always be willing to kick tires on, and like I would rather go year or two at a time, like they did with Eckler, on the cheaper than the big investment. Because what I won't do at running back is I'm not doing the huge contract for the superstar, generally.
Probably not.
Like, I'll draft a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs. It's the can I pay him a second time thing.
Right.
And my general answer, there's no hard and fast rules for me and Sharpie, would be no. But I think there's a world where Bill Rodriguez in a third gets you where you need to go. Like everything we talk about this offseason, it's all going to come back to is Jaden Daniels again. And can he be dynamic and prolific and special and play at a top 5 MVP caliber level? Because when he was doing that, the Eckler, Brian Robinson, Jeremy McNichols trio was good enough.
Right.
This one's better than that. I'm also not crazy, and it probably should be acknowledged, that the touchdown Bill scored yesterday of 72 yards while a special moment came against a really bad defense. Was perfectly blocked up in the surface. But we don't take those away from Jahmyr Gibbs when he hits those bolts.
Right.
Most of those are clean surface, good runs too, right? So I think, yes, the Cowboys stink, but we've seen enough from Bill. If you were out at camp, you saw it. If you were watching the preseason, you saw it. If you watched the Chargers or Giants game, albeit against another terrible run defense in New York, you've seen it. Like, he has the NFL traits. He could do this. I think he'll get better. Rodriguez has always responded. For his career is closer to 5 yards per carry than 4. The question is, can you find the right fit? And would you be okay with running McNichols back at 30 on another 1-year deal? Or should they try to do better than that? And I would say I'd like to upgrade from him, albeit he was very good in that role this year.
Real quick here to wrap things up. One, I think McNichols is one of those guys that's like sneaky important to the the fabric of your culture. I think everybody loves him. I think he does everything the right way. I think he's a good
Doesn't that make our case, though?
Lead by example guy.
When they go get McNichols or McKissick or like one of these guys, it's like these guys are available on the cheap. They become super important. They play at a really high level. They replace Eckler well. That kind of speaks to what we're talking about. Like, you can find those guys.